So under causes of your macro problems, I gave you a few points. Okay, I started by saying, right, okay, when you think of causes of macro problems, right, the first point is that a change in AD affects three goals. Okay, if you remember, I said whenever your AD changes, you're going to affect actual growth, you will affect cyclical unemployment, and you will affect demand pull inflation. Okay, so this is what happens when AD shifts. Okay. So of course we don't use circular flow model anymore. Here we are using AD and AS model. Okay. The other thing I said was, well, elasticity concepts are relevant, okay, when you consider the shift in AD. So I referred you to my book, page 133. If your school notes don't show you all the factors, well, that's still fine, okay? Or all the different elasticity considerations, that's still fine. You just take what you need from there. So that was what we covered for causes. Okay. Today we will see some questions on causes. Okay. Next point is on consequences. Okay. When you talk about consequences, this is new. We have not done this yet. Okay. Consequences of your macro problems. Now, first point is that this is actually memory work. Okay. Memory work in the sense, if a question asks you, why is high inflation bad? Pi stands for inflation, okay? Or why is economic growth good? Okay. Why is low unemployment good? Okay? We had points from page 103 to 106 of my book. I had those points there, but you can refer to your school notes. Okay. In general, when they ask you for all these types of questions, it is supposed to be memorized. Okay, so because it's memorized, secure the marks. Don't waste it. Okay, it's usually a part A 10-mark question. Okay, so walking away with 7 or 8 is entirely possible. Okay. Well, the second point is that examiners are not going to make life so comfortable for us, okay? Because this is memory work, you need to watch out for context. Okay? In the question. Cures, maybe we are not going to cover cures today, okay? But let me just consider this second point on consequences. Watch out for the context means, okay? It can mean a few things. Number one, if a question wants you to explain why low unemployment is a macro goal, okay? Explain why low unemployment is a macro goal versus explain, okay, why high unemployment is a source of concern for the government. Okay. The two questions appear very similar and they are all 10 marks. But they are not quite the same. Okay. In your answer, here, you need to explain the benefits of low unemployment. Whereas over here, you need to explain the costs of high unemployment. You see, it's different. So in one case, you have to say why low unemployment is good. In the other case, you have to say why high unemployment is bad. And as you can probably imagine, they are like a mirror reflection. But examiners want you to follow the context. Okay? So when you study the notes, let's say you're reading a section called Benefits of Economic Growth, then you need to ask yourself, if it's about the costs of a recession, are you able to flip the points around? Okay? Okay? And so this is the context here is about direction. The direction can change. Well, the second context is about the dartboard. The dartboard can change as well. So what do I mean by a changing dartboard? I'll explain. Okay? There was an NJ paper where students were asked to explain why high unemployment, okay, is a source of concern for the average UK resident. Okay. So why is high unemployment a source of concern for the average UK resident? If you look at this question, they are also asking why high unemployment is a source of concern. But when they say for the average UK resident, this is your dartboard. Do you know what to focus on? Average resident. When was the last time you saw this term being used? SOL, right? Very good. That means all your points have to be about standards of living. That's how easily they can tweak the context to make what would otherwise be a memory exercise a bit harder for you. Okay. So let's say you talk about consequences of high unemployment. If you just look at what you have in the school notes, usually we'll say, oh, when there's high unemployment, the government budget will be under strain. Why? Because you collect less taxes and you give out more welfare. Okay, if you check your notes, they should have a point here on the government budget. You have to give out unemployment benefits. Oh, and people are not earning income, you're not getting taxes. I can't stop here. I need to tie it to the dartboard. How? I can say, as a result, the government has less money, all right, to spend. The government will have less money to spend on healthcare and education. Therefore, non-material standards will be affected. Okay? So as long as your point ends off with standards of living, it's fine, it's okay. This one should be quite standard. Loss of income. Alright? And you just tie the loss of income to material standards worsens. Okay? So another point on consequences of high unemployment, I think the school notes will talk about crime rates going up, social unrest, tied to non-material standards. And if you say investor confidence drops, they are not going to invest in your country. You tie it to material standards in the longer term. Okay. So we can't catch every dartboard, but I think so far what we have seen should be enough to get us by. Any questions? So, focusing on causes and consequences, this is it. Standard living was what we did last chapter. If anyone would like to revise that topic, okay, I did a class on Wednesday. I have a recording of that class. I can share the video with you. 2-hour session. So we talk about standards of living, dynamic questions, static questions, right? That should be useful, okay? So just message me if you want it. So if I go back up, you see what we did for the two major themes here, causes and consequences. I gave you 2 points to note for each of them. The first point is supposed to reduce the workload. So I told you don't need to memorize so many causes, because as long as you memorize what affects AD, and by that I meant eyes, peak, okay? You are able to explain 50% of your macro goals already. But this one adds more work, you know. It adds work. Addition and reduction, okay? So it adds work because now you have to follow up with some elasticity concepts, but I have a summary table to make things easy. Same thing. Under consequences, I first try to reduce the work by telling you, hey, we did all this under national income. I have a table. It's all done. But use your school notes to add some more rigor. The second point, unfortunately, gives you a bit more work, both before the exams and during the exams. Before the exams, giving you more work means if you read the notes, they are telling you why low unemployment is good. You must be prepared to flip it around to say why high unemployment is bad. Because these two questions appear similar, but you have to follow the direction. Your answer needs to focus on benefits here, costs here. Second one, okay, when they ask you why high unemployment is a source of concern for the average UK resident, this is what you do in the exam. Okay, just try your best to tie it to the dartboard. Who knows? They may ask you why high unemployment is a source of concern when it comes to efficiency. Wow, then you have to talk about allocative efficiency. I don't think so, right? But I'm just telling you, this is the extra work you have to do. Okay? Any questions? Alright, so I think we have talked quite a fair bit about macro goals and policies. We need to look at a few questions to put things into practice.